Hello, everybody. Welcome to our first ever, for season 2 at least, of Winners League. It's going to be an exciting day. We have an amazing set of matches coming up right now. My name is Strong Legs, aka Roy. Feel free to call me whichever. I am joined with me today is Boggs. Austin, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. It's a great day for some Counter-Strike, I'd say. We have a pretty good match to start off.
Yeah, we have an amazing set of matches to start off. So the first match is going to be Virtus.pro versus... Let's just go to the schedule page. I have all that for you guys. That way you guys can follow through with us right here. But it is Virtus.pro versus eSuba, which is the biggest, or so I hear, from Slovakia, Czech Republic. eSuba is coming in from ESEA Advanced, so they're kind of up there in the EU scene. And Virtus.pro, they're kind of going through a bit of a rough patch right now, trying to find the stable 5 players that they want to commit with and grind with. So it's going to be an interesting match, to say the least. And that is coming in from Group A, so that's the first match for us today. The second match coming up is going to be Namiga versus Mocket. Now, Namiga, of course, is no stranger to Winners League, as they were competing and they were one of the top contenders in the Europe division. So they're glad to see them back. And I think they made one roster swap as well. I think they took out, I forget who, but they brought in Boggs. And then Mocket is also no stranger. They have some players coming in from the ex-Smoke Criminals roster. That's Fearoth coming in for that roster as well. So I believe the second match is going to be a fire matchup, and it's going to be pretty even between them. And we have 2 brand new entries into the EU division. That's Kotka 5balls and Absolute Legends. And these are all, kind of low-key players. Some of them have been around the scene for a while. I believe Absolute Legends has players that have competed on the Russian team in WSG with players like Guardian, with some of the top players in the CIS region. So I imagine we're going to have a pretty awesome set of matches. So that is the first 3 matches for us to kick off Winners League EU division. Any thoughts? I know, Boggs, you're pretty familiar with, you're pretty familiar with the eSuba. You're pretty familiar with some of the Virtus.pro player, obviously. What's your thoughts on the first matchup coming up for us here?
I mean, honestly, eSuba didn't play a lot of Inferno. In fact, they didn't play any Inferno at all in Advanced last season. So I'm actually really curious to see how they're able to play against Virtus.pro on Inferno. No, Virtus.pro played earlier today on Inferno as well, so it's a map that they are at least somewhat versed in. So it should be a pretty interesting matchup altogether. A fresh look eSuba can definitely take down Virtus.pro if they're not prepared for a team that has a lot of firepower when it comes down to it. Fragd and Hanky G can both put up numbers, and Zedko is the rock on that team.
Yeah,
He can do whatever is needed.
Yeah, you were saying that Zetko is one of the clutchers to look out for the eSuba squad, and you gotta be pretty excited for that too. I mean, I've seen some of the eSuba players play before, but I've never, I don't have like an extensive background on them, so you kind of be the expert for that as you have seen them play multiple times. But Zetko on the clutch. When I hear somebody say, "Yo, look out for this player, he's a good clutcher," that instantly gets me excited. Like, dude, what is he doing differently that other players aren't? What's clicking in for him in his mind when he's in these types of circumstances and these types of scenarios, right? So it's going to be a good watch for sure. And I do wonder, though, that Virtus.pro is coming in from a BO3. I think they lost 0-2 to Namiga, if I'm not mistaken, in the Loot Bet Cup. So I imagine if that's going to have a factor on them. And I believe they're substituting out Toa for Veggie, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So that's going to be interesting to see as well.
Yeah, they played their earlier matchup. It was a 2-0 loss to Nemiga, who was coming up in match number 2 today. So there's another good matchup coming up right there. But yeah, they did lose 2-0, and they did have Veggie standing in for Toho. He didn't do bad. So I'm interested to see how he's able to play against eSuba too. That's going to be something interesting to see how Virtus.pro folds him into the existing lineup, because they've had a core, pretty much this core, for a bit of time now, a few months if I'm not mistaken. So it should be interesting to see how the new player actually fits into that mold.
Yeah, and I believe Veggie's coming in from the Pact roster, if I'm not mistaken. I believe actually several of the players that are playing on Virtus.pro right now have come from that roster, if I'm not mistaken. But it is definitely going to be interesting to see. I imagine that Virtus.pro will kind of use this league to kind of feel out some of the players, see if there's a connection between them, see if there's chemistry between them to kind of, set in stone the roster that they want to move forward with. So I think we're going to be seeing a shaky roster. Hopefully not. Hopefully they do find, the 5 to grind with, and but yeah, I imagine this will be a lot closer of a match than we're ready for, but we are almost ready. I believe we're just waiting on one more player here before we're ready to go into the server. So we're just gonna, we do have the graphics for all the groups for the EU division. Maybe we just go ahead and show that really quickly here and kind of just follow along, because we did introduce the NA division, but we have not introduced the EU division yet. So let's go through that very quickly right here. It won't be anything crazy or extensive, but this is Group A. Now, again, this is the first matchup for us right here coming in from Group A. It's going to be Virtus.pro versus eSuba. But you guys will see teams like Copenhagen Flames, Berserk, Offset, Codewise Unicorns, of course, TDR Gaming, and Monolith. And some of these teams have been on HLTV a lot recently, showing pretty good performances. So Group A looks Whew, looks a little scary.
I definitely agree. I think Monolith and Codewise Unicorns are two teams to really look out for in Group A as well, aside from like the Virtus Pros and the Copenhagen Flames of the world. So it's going to be definitely a tight group for sure, especially among those top four teams, I would say.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have run out of time. The players kind of connected a little bit sooner than we'd like, so we're going to go straight into the server right here where the knife round is underway. Now, of course, knife round decides which team will be choosing the sides here on Inferno. But yeah, I mean, looking at Virtus.pro's performance recently today, they didn't do so hot on Inferno. Mind you, they were playing against Namiga, a pretty well-established roster. Let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, we'll see how this plays out. Indeed, it looks like it will be Virtus.pro to get side choice, so that should be able to favor them at least somewhat.
What kind of purchase they pump out right here?
Yeah, they're going to take the CT side to start off as well, so they're looking for a strong start here, definitely.
Okay, so far, the kit smoke coming out for Snacks. Now, he seems to be kind of the support player for the squad. I remember him on the prior Virtus.pro roster before he was moved over to Mouse. He would always be the one picking up the kit and the smoke for the squad as well. So he's pretty comfortable with that. No issues there. And it is going to be double flash and smoke for Zetko for the eSuba side. And they look like they are pretty heavily contesting towards Banana, at least maintaining control of it for now. And Zetko's kind of playing support all the way from back T-spawn to deny any aggression for Virtus.pro. So far, it's just a standstill.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly curious as to who's IGLing for Virtus.pro as well, because I think that's going to make a difference on CT's side, and also if it is Snacks, because it actually might be, it'll be interesting to see how that impacts his overall fragging power in the game as well.
It's definitely something to look out for. There are some players, though, that do have that kind of super strength when they're IGLing. Kind of like the Stanislaw effect, right? He seems to be performing much better when he's in that IGL role. Here we go. The creep's now starting to happen here for the eSuba side as they try to make their way on towards the B site. Now they have all the utility that they need. The smoke to block off CT spawn and the double flash to make their way and gain some space and try to take the bomb site. Let's see how this unfolds. First flashbangs out.
This boost from Snacks doesn't yield a kill just yet. Veggie from back site is taken down, but Snacks has found a refrag on the Hanky G, but the kid is fallen inside of Church and the bomb will go down. So now the clock is ticking for Virtus.pro on the retake. Mihu spamming through the smoke looking for frags, but he's not going to be able to find anything yet. As the hold is pretty strong, the post-plant positions are solid for eSuba as Mihu falls to Shockies. Another frag coming in from Shockies and Snatchy in the 1v3. Actually, we'll get one. It was a 1v4, but he gets shut down by Shockies and a nice 3k and a bomb plant plus a round victory for eSuba to start it off well for the Czechoslovakian roster.
Yeah, I do like the kind of the control being kind of forced on Virtus.pro towards the construction side. They had the kit controlled, and they said, "Hey, let's just let's just hold this down. If they want to retake, they don't need the kit. They're most likely going to fight for it." But really well read there by the eSuba side, and that is a round win. Now, it's an interesting purchase coming out here early on from eSuba, picking up 4 Mac 10s, looking to gain ground early. Imagine they're aware of Virtus.pro's economy situation and unlikely for there to be a force buy coming out from the VP side. So Mac 10s are definitely in the right place here at the right time.
Yeah, I like to see eSuba channeling their inner Vega squadron with the 4 Mac 10 buy. And if those Mac 10s can farm some frags, the money should end up looking pretty well for eSuba as well. And they're getting a lot of control early towards apps and B. 2 upper banana, some utility being used, but 3 players heavily stacked over towards the upper bracket side with some smokes coming out towards A as well. There is double man stack towards arches coming out from Virtus.pro, but the bomb is still down in spawn. So there's still a lot of time and a lot of map control for eSuba to play with. And I wonder if they're actually waiting for Virtus.pro to get a little aggressive and go for some early rotations. Maybe use some of their utility over towards A to draw some rotations from B.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, they're just kind of dominating Virtus.pro. They know they have utility. Let's just use it to safely gain ground towards brackets, start to gain ground towards the map, you know, take away map control, deny information for Virtus.pro, and hopefully if there are any stacks for VP, it would be kind of forced to kind of break down as eSuba look to gain ground. But here we go. 4 Mac 10s, heavily favoring the eSuba side. Now, this is, again, eSuba is one of the top Slovakian teams, probably the top 3 Slovakian teams, Czech Republic teams. So they're no strangers to the game by any means.
No, they're not. And the tight A's take is in effect, but there's 2 frags found. 3 as Snatchy finds one more, but it's getting traded back. But this amount of damage from Virtus.pro can come back and harm eSuba in the later rounds. Daxon will farm the last 2 frags. They are able to keep the AK up for eSuba, but that's actually a lot done for Virtus.pro on these pistols, no armor. And we'll see if that affects the economy of eSuba going to the later rounds, as we will see Frag picking up another Mac 10. Zedko will go light utility in the AK. But those 3 frags, that could actually work out really well for Virtus.pro as far as the early game economy battle goes.
Absolutely, but I'm surprised to see a second save coming out from VP. They don't really want to invest. They like the amount of damage that they've done, so they're just going to go ahead and save up one more time. So they at least have the ops and the full utility coming into the first gun round. Mishu and Pete changing a little bit of damage towards hulls, but nothing gained, nothing lost, except a couple of battle wounds. But at least they have apps control now. They have that to work with.
Yeah, surprised to see Miku get a little aggressive with the deagle. It almost worked out for him too, but unfortunately for Virtus.pro, they're not able to get that first pick just yet. But one thing's for sure, given the second save, I'm going to be expecting a double op setup coming out early from Virtus.pro. Probably going to try and shut down the eSuba pushes early on, get that dominance, and establish a really strong CT half.
Yeah, I think Mihu understands that they're definitely in kind of the scales of balance are tipped against them here. They definitely are a disadvantageous situation. So, hey, let's take a risk. Let's see if we can find an early pick. Maybe if we can find that double tap with the deagle or the 1 deagle, that might kind of water down the defense. But here we go. eSuba grouping back towards the B site. But there is a problem, Boggs. This is a stack.
Indeed there is. The first player is dealt with. Shockies takes down Veggie. Dax to find Snacks. But Mihu's coming with that deagle. He's found one. He's done damage onto Zedko. But Hanky G will eliminate that danger. And now it's just down to Bialy. He actually could take down Zedko over from Apps. It was Bialy who did the damage to Zedko, who's running away. And I think he's hurt him too. If he could pick up an AK and save potentially, that would have been a huge pickup for Virtus.pro going into round number 4. But as Zedko was able to find that final frag, we'll see the double op setup coming through for Virtus.pro, Snatchy and Snacks to hold on to the big green guns. And now we're going to see the first gun round of this matchup. 1 AUG too, so only 1 AUG, but so much utility for Virtus.pro. The Molotovs, the smokes are all there in force. And we could see really good utility delay from Virtus.pro, especially if they can bleed that clock down to the latter seconds and really force eSuba into a late take.
Yeah, it's a little interesting to see that Virtus.pro is only invested into 1, but that's not really going to matter because Snatchy found himself 3 kills already, 1 collateral, and he's already shut that down. No problems. 4 kills for Snatchy. Wouldn't even let me finish my sentence, but it didn't even matter because I was about to comment on the fact that they only had 1 kit but could afford 3 kits. But hey, Snatchy says, nah, it doesn't matter. I have an op.
Yeah, doesn't even need a kit when Snatchy comes up with a 4K like that. Although eSuba really getting aggressive top mid, kind of just fed right into Snatchy playing from porch. I'm surprised they weren't able to get a trade, but props to Snatchy. And actually there's some damage being exchanged towards Banana. Nades coming in from both sides doing some damage. But again, apps control in the eSuba favor. They're getting a lot of early apps control, but the push down Banana from Veggie will get a kill. And that's the first pick going the way of Virtus.pro. And that actually is a really good start for them on the CT side.
Absolutely. This is already off to a great start. And I like the fact that they sent 4 people towards Banana. I mean, usually it's not uncommon to see 3 people, but 4 people, that's a battle to the death if I've ever seen one towards Banana's side. But Snacks right now has full control, which allows the remaining players from Virtus.pro to remain strong and hold tight towards the A defense with 4 players there. So far, so good. Virtus.pro sitting comfortable, especially with a man advantage.
Definitely, and it's going to force eSuba to fall back too and rethink their options, because Snacks, as far as they know, has all of Banana control. Virtus.pro has so much map control towards the B side, they can afford to just stack over towards A, but Veggie is going to rotate back as now Snacks is going to get pushed in. eSuba making their way up towards the B site. The Molotovs are out, the smokes are going through. But eSuba are pushing through the smokes, the flash is going through, and Snacks has found the first frag on the op. Veggie from Coffin should be good for 2. He is, and he's got almost a third. Shockies will get 1 back. Snacks is low as well, so Shockies can do some damage to the economy of Virtus.pro. The knife comes in for Snacks, though. And that is some disrespect coming out from the Polish legend.
Wow. I have to say, that was very well played by Snacks towards the new Boggs. I mean, it was a good balance between going aggressive, finding that early kill, and just surviving until the right time, until there was too much pressure on that last player alive for eSuba. That was well done by Snacks. A knife on top of that. That is insult to injury. Here we go,
yeah.
though.
That is good to see from Snacks, too. See him back to his previous level, playing really smart and getting the frags as well.
Ooh.
eSuba on the pistols are going to push him towards Snatchy. He's got one, but it's traded out instantly. Mihu got 3, he's got the 4th. And the anti-eco works out well for Virtus.pro. The op is salvaged, so no real major losses for VP, as they've tied things up with eSuba, and this CT side is looking really strong. Something that I was questioning coming into this game for Virtus.pro is how they would play as a team, and they're looking pretty good. Veggie's been involved as well, so that is a really good sign for Virtus.pro moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they have everything that they need to make this defense work, right? They saved up for the double op. The grenades coming in on top of eSuba's head, and it's hurting a lot. Now they're trying to force a smoke, but everybody there from VP's holding strong together. Hanky able to somehow find 1 kill, and even that is a surprise. And Veggie looking to close out the round with a 4K. An amazing defense there on the B. And that's, wow. That was only 1 player dead, and within like a, what, 30-second time frame?
Yeah, it was a very fast take again from eSuba. And they keep forcing these smokes too on their buy rounds, which is a very questionable idea as far as I'm concerned. I mean, they worked really well going slow against Virtus.pro early on. They've tried to go fast, and it's just not working. I'd like to see them go back to that slower pace play when they get their guns back up. As Snatchy, it's a beautiful shot to Shockies. But again, it'd be nice to see eSuba slow things down on the gun rounds and try and see if Virtus.pro get aggressive again.
Yeah, I do like the aggression coming out from Virtus.pro. This is just raw confidence at this point, right? I mean, they know that eSuba is limited in economy. They're not really trying to they're not really trying to force the matter. They just want the confidence. They want that early dominance. They want to establish that they are not afraid of eSuba. And they're not afraid to risk their weapons in these types of rounds. Here we go, utility coming out by eSuba once again, trying to force utility, but this time it's a Molotov, not a smoke, so they're burnt alive. And Bialy from above, nice support there. Pretty much keeping Snatchy alive, but there it is, Virtus.pro once again. Just looking really dominant on these types of rounds. And look at their economy now, Boggs. That is scary.
That is out of control. Snacks, 1,800 away from max. Bialy and Veggie both above 11,000. And Virtus.pro, the confidence you mentioned, this is something that the Plow has lost for a long time. And if we can see the Plow return to that former confidence, it may very well return to be the Virtus Plow. So this is very good signs again. That confidence. A huge factor. Snacks is getting aggressive top banana. The apps control is there for eSuba, as they're seeming to go more for a slower pace now, trying to feel out what Virtus.pro is doing. But the bomb is still back in spawn. The op on fragged actually might be able to get them an opening if Snatchy wants to get a little aggressive towards top mid.
Counter utility right now from Virtus.pro is amazing. They're doing a really good job controlling the pace here for eSuba. Suba's going to keep trying to find that early pick. They need some sort of leverage in these types of rounds. I mean, yes, they got the pistol, they got the 2 ecos after that, but on these gun rounds, they've looked a little bit shaky. Snatchy being pushed off by utility. Good use there from eSuba, showing prowess, but Mishu able to find 1, but immediately traded out.
Still, that's a good pick from Mihu. A lot of information as well. But there's still no rotations from Virtus.pro. They're going to hold the 2v2. And wisely so, as the bomb is working its way over towards B. I think that Hanky G and Zedko are going to try and wrap through CT. So it's going to be on Snatchy to try and hold this arch push off, but he's going to get smoked and the wrap's going to be in effect. Snacks and Veggie will be hard pressed to hold down this B site now. As I don't even know if, no, they have called the rotations. Veggie's going to go down to church. But what double entry for eSuba. This is what we needed from them too. The confidence that we saw against the ecos on their anti-ecos showing through on the gun rounds, and this is what eSuba's capable of too. Pretty much all of their players have that ability to frag, and when they do turn up, you get rounds like that where they've only lost 1. It was fragged off a timing issue. And they pretty much secured the round as Bialy and Snatchy are in a 2v4, and it's going to be a really hard retake.
Yeah, I don't think they're so much looking for success more than economic damage at this point. They have a lot of money in the bank. It's not a problem. They seem to be advancing, but they're not able to find a single kill. Daxon, Shock, shutting it down. I do like the entry from Shock, too. That was a nice shot off the Snacks, clearing him out of the new box quickly. Precise, clean.
Yeah, that was definitely a really good entry from Shockies. And he's actually leading the scoreboard for eSuba too, sitting at 10-5. So a really good performance from Shockies could be just what eSuba need to actually pick up a victory here on Game 1, Week 1 for EU Season 2 of Winners. Lots of utility being used towards Banana again from VP, and Shockies is going to get aggressive. The nade shouldn't hit him. He might have just heard Mihu get ticked by the Molotov. But no picks will come up early, and the 3-man stack towards B will fall off for Virtus.pro as Mihu will return to his spot on A.
You know, both of these teams have so much utility to use, and they're not afraid to use all of it to kind of gain control early on here in the round. But I'm glad to see eSuba's come to life on one of these gun rounds. There is sign of hope here.
Yeah, for a second there, I thought it was going to be all Virtus.pro, but eSuba answered back after losing 5 in a row, and we'll see if they can return the favor to Virtus.pro and tie things up again. They still have a lot of map control, a lot of time, and the bomb's still down in spawn. But I feel like eSuba are going to hit towards B, especially as they're starting to rotate back down middle. And I think that would be the wise decision. They've had a lot of luck on the B bomb set. They've been doing a really good job of clearing out the angles. Snacks has actually gone towards coffins. He's not playing from new box this time. So it'll definitely be a very interesting hit over towards B from eSuba, as nobody's playing the angles that they're probably going to be expecting as much. The top of orange, or actually behind oranges from Veggie, could be a huge linchpin in the defense, but that Molotov will do wonders for him. Shocking with the entry, but Snacks from Emo, he gets 2, so this is actually very doable for Virtus.pro.
Yeah, 2 for 2 trades, not too bad, but Shock says, no, I'm going to move forward. The timing's there perfectly for him, and Snatchy's position has been compromised, but Snatchy's quick to recover. Finds Shock, down to a 2 versus 2. There's still some smokes they have to worry about, but they're going to go ahead and boost Snatchy over, looking for that kill. He can find this one. It will make it so much easier. Even information at this point is worth it.
Yeah, time is starting to take down low. The Molotov will force Zedko out, and he finds 2 from the Molotov. Burns alive, but that was well worth it for Zedko. Nice couple frags, too, and honestly, you have to respect going for those frags from the Molotov and not trying to get out. That was perfectly played from Zedko. Cool, calm, and collected, and we're all tied up now. The money on Virtus.pro starting to dwindle as well, so the double op setup will come out one more time, but unless they can win this round, we could be seeing VP on the Ego next.
Yeah, I mean, that mountain of cash they're sitting on is suddenly just a tiny little hill, right? It's only really Bialy, Veggie, and Snacks with any monetary value at this point. eSuba,
yeah,
looking pretty sharp in these rounds, and once again, they're going to kind of go for the bread and butter that's been working quite well for them. Just maintain control of Banana, not really hard fight it. Use some of that utility to push back Snacks, but oh, did they expect it this time? Oh, look at that grenade damage. That softens them up quite a bit.
That Molotov's also really good in return. I believe that was Veggie throwing that. So he's really showing up here for Virtus.pro, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Veggie. He's being a good team player. He's activating his teammates, and he's being activated upon. So the issues that we brought up in the pregame about maybe seeing how well he folds into the team doesn't seem to be that much of an issue at all.
Yeah, that was kind of like the question mark, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. And now Snacks with the first frag on the banana push, as eSuba have found a lot of luck over towards B. The early rotation is going to come through for Virtus.pro too, it seems. As Snatch, actually no. It'll be Mihu to come back towards B. There's 30 seconds on the clock, so eSuba have to decide if they want to go for this, if they want to rotate off. Because if they pull a vintage Navi and run out of time, that would just be heartbreaking for them on this round. They have so much in, but Veggie's able to start it off. Well, Snacks finds a second. And eSuba has been shut down now as fragged in 1v5, but it's Veggie with the 3k. Snacks with 2, and the B defense holds strong and saves the money for Virtus.pro. That could have gotten really scary too if eSuba could have gotten up to about 7 rounds should they have won the last round. So Virtus.pro will retain their lead, the double op setup as well, and the rank will be allowed to grow, as I don't actually think they lost a single guy.
Yeah, I mean, that not only was that a round win, but that was as clean as they could possibly get for Virtus.pro, and the defense was just on point, running the clock down with utility and just holding strong towards the site. They had a feeling it was going to be in that direction, especially considering they still had eyes on middle, right? So if they're not in middle at 30, 25 seconds, they're likely to be. Snacks looking to contest Banana once again with that AWP. Oh, the flash is perfect, but he almost catches fragged. Blind.
That would have been a beautiful shot and a beautiful opening, but eSuba have just about 2 smokes, 2 flashbangs, and a Molotov. So essentially no utility, and we're still 1 minute and 15 seconds into this round. So there is so much time for them to kill, and eSuba really have nothing left for an execute. Both smokes have been used over towards A, so I'm going to expect them to hit on in. But Hanky G's found Bialy getting a little aggressive in apps, and that could just be the opening that eSuba need to get themselves into this round and pick up a 6th on round number 12. A lot up lane as well. Mihu behind the smoke, though, has a beautiful angle, and he will take down Zedko. A spray through the smoke this time. He's found 2.
Wow, look at his maneuvering. Not only that, but he's able to escape out alive. A little bit of a repeat comes out, but the flashbang just wasn't good enough for that. Snatchy on the site, on the cold zero. Boggs looking for anything he can, but he's overrun with too many players in sight, and that is the A. Bomb site now open for business. Bomb is being planted. A little bit of utility coming out from eSuba now as they get able to reposition on site with that Molotov, and if they're able to smoke off Moto, wait, they have no utility on hand. It's gonna have to be guns out from here.
Yeah, and Hanky and Daxon are both low as well. But Frags and Daxon. Daxon playing from behind the box will get a nice headshot into Snacks, but that kill from Fragged into Veggie was essentially the savior for eSuba in that round, as things could have gotten bad if that rifle was allowed to get in close. Now we'll see what Virtus.pro want to do. They're going to toss the op over to Snacks. It's going to be a full buy. The utility's going to be a little light on Snatchy, little light on Bialy and Veggie, but overall they should still be able to put up a solid defense. And they could very easily take this round away from eSuba as well.
And I do have to question the aggression though on the repeat towards lane. I mean, if they held a position on site, if they just would have stayed in a setup, that might have worked out just a tiny little bit better for Virtus.pro. I do respect the flash peek though. Obviously, it's always a viable play. I do wonder if they would have just held site, had it been better. But here it is. A flashbang should be coming out here from Shock as they look to gain control of car towards Banana. Molotov cutting the support. Doesn't really matter because Snacks and Veggie are playing in front of that. And there it is. Veggie peeking off the contact, finding one from the side, but traded out immediately. And Snacks answers back.
The dynamic play from Snacks and Veggie on B has been so critical for Virtus.pro on these B holds. They're working out so well. Veggie biding his time, playing off Snacks. Snacks returning the favor and getting those trades. And that's just textbook B defense from Virtus.pro. That is something that you really like to see from them. The team play that we all question going on into this game has been there in spades, and it's working out really well on B, as eSuba now forced to take it over towards the A site, where Mihu is going to rotate back. But that first pick from Zedko onto Bialy leaves Snatchy in a very rough position. But Mihu and Snatchy able to find two, leaving Zedko, the clutch master for eSuba, in the 1v3. Molotov out. He's been spotted out. The op shot, I believe, connected as well. Actually able to find one.
Wow.
So, regardless of that, he's still able to find the frag onto Snatchy. The ops have been saved, but that's some solid economic damage dealt, as Virtus.pro only survived with 3 alive. And as you can see, their money is not the best going into these late rounds.
Yeah, I mean, at this point for eSuba, economic damage is not nearly good enough as they're down to an equal round. So it's going to be, or at least should be, around here for Virtus.pro as they're heavily favored in kind of purchase. That was really well played by eSuba, all things considered. I mean, they had the right flash and they had the right utility to clear out Bialy safely out of pit, and that was a big piece of the puzzle for them. But they just weren't able to convert after that. But
yeah, good individual play for both Snatchy and Mihu on the hold, really securing the round for Virtus.pro. It seems that the A defense will be tested again. A lot of apps control. There's 3 members from eSuba up through the halls. The smoke from Snatchy probably going to delay a little bit unless eSuba decide to go through the smoke, but Zedko will actually get his way up into balcony as well, window room. Go out through boiler, but the push is coming in towards A. Bialy gets instantly traded. Shockies falls as Mihu finds 2, and he's still alive in the pit as well. He's looking for more. He's found one more, and now it's just Zedko again, trying to do something. It's not very likely. Season in hand, and Mihu will finish things off from pit with a beautiful 4K. And Virtus.pro have at the very least secured the CT side half.
yeah, an A6 finish. That's pretty good for CT side Inferno. Map's been shifting into a kind of like an even pace. I mean, especially if Virtus.pro can finish with 8 or 9 rounds. I mean, 8 is obviously a guarantee, but if they can finish with 9 rounds, considering they lost pistol, that's a pretty successful half. I mean, they've been converting most of the gun rounds, and that's a big piece of the question. The early pick comes out, Veggies falls, and Snacks burns Shock alive, so it's a 1-for-1 trade. But look how much damage has been dealt to Daxon and Frag. They might have to rethink their aggression here.
Exactly, and that push through the smoke is just a little futile, you might say. The good flash, though, but Snacks is still there for the refrag. He's on for 3. And as they're going to push him towards sight, Hanky G will be able to clear him out. The bomb goes down at the very least in the 2v3 hold for eSuba. But this is going to be a very interesting post-plant situation. As Bialy gets boosted on up on top of flower pots, Zedko is exposed as well from top of oranges. He'll drop down, and a flash towards Church as Hanky G will clear the area. Molotov will clear Zedko. Actually, it's Snatchy to clear out Zedko, leaving Hanky in the 1v3, but that headshot can do it as he's found 2. Snatchy is the last alive. He's tapped the bomb. He's going to stick it as well. He has the kit, and Hanky G sprays on through, but Snatchy has won the round for Virtus.pro. And a 9-round half, despite losing the first 3 rounds, is exceptional for VP, as they only lose 3 gun rounds. And they looked really strong on the CT side, the team play coming through perfectly. And that gives me hope for Virtus.pro, not only going forward and through this map, going forward in Winners League and also through ESCA as well.
Yeah, that was a really good half for Virtus, for all things considered. But I do have to say, though, I feel like Henky G was just robbed the 1 versus 3. I mean, he played that out perfectly. Hit the crucial shots, got the crucial kills, but Nachi snatched that away from him, didn't he? Here it is, Virtus plow up in middle, aggressively together. Snacks and Mihu find the first kill. That's Zetka gone down. Shock looking for a trade, but the smoke has blocked him off. And Virtus.pro, the plow has rerouted.
It's heading towards B, where Fragged and Henky G will have to lock things down. The kit actually is not in play for eSuba, as Virtus.pro will work their way back towards A. But that's a good thing to notice, is that there is no kit for eSuba. So whatever happens now, if the bomb goes down and Virtus.pro are able to kill enough time, eSuba really have to worry about that factor, because it's the 10-second defuse, not the 5-second defuse. But also Virtus.pro have no utility. They're going to go for the full plow, it seems, potentially an Apps waterfall. Just try and overwhelm the site with the Glock's close range, hit those headshots, and get themselves the 10th round. But one thing we can say, I don't expect to see eSuba going for that second round, or the third round eco, the second eco on the half. I don't see that coming. And the stack towards B is going to betray eSuba, as the bomb will go down. Shockey's about to discover the whole factor. He'll spot out Mihu, start things off well for eSuba on this retake, but again, that time is a major factor. And another factor is Veggie from Mini Pit.
And look at Virtus.pro right now. Bialy doubling up with his teammate. That's a great call as they're clearing out all the out pressure. Now they have control of it. But now it's all the remaining eSuba players following in through the moto side. It's going to be a hard task for them, but they're able to find the kills. But they're caught in a crossfire, and it is Bialy from the halls. Gets himself not only the round, but a 4K to kind of kickstart the second half. That's a great start for Virtus.pro. eSuba, bit of an uphill battle for them from here, I imagine.
Indeed. And actually, I wouldn't be surprised to see them go for a force here, but they will play it smart. They will go for the save and secure full guns on the third round of the half. That was a really good job by Bialy. Good individual effort from him. 4 kills in the round. And now we're going to see some SMGs coming out from Virtus.pro. 3 max and a UMP coming up to...
Oh my god.
And this is just farm. It's a murder hole. Frag's actually able to find one. But still, that is annihilation coming out from Virtus.pro.
Yeah, imagine you're that first player that turns the corner and sees 5 counter terrorists on that left side. That must be like, there has to be like some sort of like surprise effect. Like, there's no way they're calm and collected in that situation.
Oh no, it's the little check mark coming above the head like you're playing Pokemon and you just discovered a trainer standing in your way. But it's going to be an opt-out for Frag. So 1 opt for the CT side coming into round number 3 of the half. And let's see if that op is actually something that can make a difference for eSuba on their holds. There's some banana. Bialy's playing about the middle of banana, but a lot of apps control being gained by Virtus.pro. So they have 1 in halls and I believe 1 out towards boiler as well.
And you can see Virtus.pro is kind of Virtus.pro, excuse me. I've said plow. The plow is getting to me. But
it's coming back.
Yeah, I mean, you can see they kind of like kept the bonus weapon for Veggie. He's probably going to be on the entry, kind of maneuvering himself and gaining space for Virtus.pro as they look to make their way out to site. But as of right now, it's pretty standard things coming out from Virtus.pro. Control towards banana early, maintaining it, not really contesting. Now they have control of brackets, and they look like they want to transition off brackets, possibly into an A hit.
Yeah, and one thing that we have to note too is that Fragged is on the glass cannon op, and Veggie seems to be ready to push him arches as well, so the Mac 10 can absolutely shred the unarmored operative. But actually, it Snacks who makes first contact. The arch push comes in, and they're just going to wrap through as well. This is actually really smart from VP. They'll play the Bogdan laws. Veggie gets tossed the AK. The site take has not necessarily been initiated, but there's so much control through CT spawn that eSuba are aware of that they can't even rotate early. Those first 2 frags all but secure the site, as Zedko's only good for 1. And as you said, A site's open for business. And now eSuba are in a very interesting situation where they're probably just going to try and save these rifles, go for some exit frags, but there is no money left on their players, and they will be hard-pressed to pick something up into the next round unless they can save these 2 M4s. Even then, it's going to be a little risk to go for a Walmart buy, but we might see it in the next round.
Yeah, that was almost clinical by Virtus.pro. I mean, that was full control, right? The discipline there on that take was, yeah, they were starting to run out of time. What, 20 seconds before they were able to transition on towards the actual bomb site? But the discipline for me was in the fact that they waited until all of the utility out of everyone's hands was pretty much used up. And at that point, they knew they had control towards spawn, library, arch, halls, and truck side. So they knew the only places eSuba could be were on site and pit. And it was just perfect split. That's really, really well done. That's a good telltale sign that Virtus.pro is kind of getting their things back together. That's an awesome split. Ball 6, a great, pretty comfortable lead so far for Virtus.pro.
Indeed, and we're actually going to see a save here from eSuba. Bind to 2K roughly. Hanky G and Daxon with the saved rifles are going to be playing towards B. So if VP do go for a B hit, they will meet some resistance. But there is just pistols holding down the A site for eSuba. As Virtus.pro off the back of that clinical A take have all but bankrupted the Czech and Slovakia mix.
Okay.
Daxon, nice opener. So the rifle does actually find something.
Oh no, Greg is up behind the pillar. Veggie finds Zed. And Snack says, nah, I'm denying this hold for much, much longer. And it's all his now. He has the A site. Really well played by Snacks. Well communicated by Virtus.pro. And that is an A bomb site for free once again. eSuba probably just going to hold on to these 2 and 4s, bring it into this next round. Smart decision. But man, this is... I don't know, Boggs. I'm starting to lose a little bit of faith here for the eSuba side.
I have to say I am too. And I thought they really had a chance, especially the way they started this. Getting 6 rounds on the T side is not too bad as well. But now things seem to be falling apart for eSuba, and they're getting run over by the plow. That's all you can really say on these T side executes. Is that Virtus.pro is just playing to a T. They're not making mistakes. They're playing everything perfectly. And it's just showing with the communication as well. Virtus.pro are clicking on all cylinders. Everything is working out for them. I mean, every single player on Virtus.pro 2 is playing well individually. So that also has to be something to say into this round, as VP's only actually 3 rounds away from taking this first game in Winners League. eSuba will be able to get another buy up. They'll have an op, this time with armor. But it is going to be very dire straits for eSuba. They pretty much have to win this round to stay in this game, or else, even with max loss, they will be put up against pretty much match point on a force buy.
Yeah, this is a better buy than they've had for a hot minute now, but this is so much control being exerted here towards the banana side. Early utility coming out from both teams. The grenade is well placed. Bialy down to 24 HP. But eSuba, they're not ready to give up control yet. They want more control. They want to fight to the death here down banana.
This is really good from eSuba. They're showing aggression. The 3-stack banana does a lot of damage. It establishes control, but it doesn't matter to Virtus.pro. They're going to keep on pushing on up. And eSuba, they're just about to get faked. They've had the double rotation leaving B with 4 players actually from Virtus.pro positioned up towards top banana. Smoke's going out CT, should draw a rotation back, but as of now, it's just fragged on the op to hold down the B site. And this could end in disaster for eSuba if Virtus.pro actually start to hit the site. And Max, he's spotted, fragged, and he has a beautiful headshot onto the opper. The B side is open. 5v4 retake, but Veggie on the lurk through Mexico has found the frag onto Zedco. And now things are really scary for eSuba. They seem to be going for a commitment, at least. No, they're not. They're going to fall off. This is a wise decision from eSuba. They have nothing again to play with. Daxon and Henki G can drop over the 2 rifles and still have enough to bind to the following round. So if they do keep these guns up, there is a chance for eSuba in the following round, but Veggie, this man has been on point today.
Wait a second. Daxon, what are you doing on the B site? Wait. There's only one player here. If he can take out Snatchy from the side, that's a free bomb defuse. Oh, no.
This did not just happen.
No.
This just happened. Daxon. What a play. He actually does it. He gets the ninja. And Virtus.pro have just... Wasn't it FaZe who did the very same thing on Mirage against Virtus.pro? I believe it was Snaps who came in for that ninja frag or ninja defuse.
I don't remember, but wow, that is As soon as I saw him kind of start moving up, I was like, Daxon, what are you doing over there, you sneaky snake? But that was well played. That might have just saved eSuba. If there was a saving grace, if there's a miracle round, that was it, Austin. They need to convert from here.
Indeed, like that is the round that you should not lose if you are VP. And if eSuba can pull off of this Roy and they are actually able to build off of it and string some rounds together, we could see a very different result. That could be the game changer.
Right.
It could literally be the round that saves the game.
There it is.
APG is going to play off of that. A good flash from Daxon again. And the first pick goes the way of eSuba, but there's so much brackets control for VP.
Yeah, and Zetko's ready for it too. He has a flashbang. Their counter is ready to kind of make its way over. I wonder if he... the Molotov is just going to push him back. That's unfortunately a play denied, but Virtus.pro looking to gain ground once again. Now, we've seen how deadly those A-splits have been, but I wonder if there's a response here from eSuba this time around. Zetko.
This time, too, they're not all bunched up on site. They have Zedko playing from either library or arch.
Well, and they have the utility on site, so they can deny some of the split through Moto at the very least for now. But something still needs to give here. It's not enough.
Zedko needs a couple frags here. It's Mihu. Oh, Zedko has the lineup. He's found two. He's done damage to Mihu, who's just able to escape through the smoke and actually able to find Fragged. I have no idea how Fragged isn't expecting that. But Zedko might have just done enough as it is a 2v3 in favor of eSuba. So the hold has to come strong from Virtus.pro. And eSuba need this retake or else they are broke once again, as has been the story for them on the CT side.
This is great teamwork coming out from Mihu and Snatchy right now. Snatchy just supporting him all the way through until Mishu can kind of make a play. They know that they need to play. And there it is. The first kill comes out. It's 2 versus 2. Snatchy, right place at the right time. Mihu comes back for the support. Shuts down Zetko. That was clinical by Virtus.pro. A job well done. Mihu with a 4K. And Virtus.pro find themselves on the 14th round. And the economy, Boggs, for eSuba, it's looking rough.
They're actually forcing an op here. They're going to go for the Walmart buy. As Daxon will get an MP9, as will Shocky. Some utility is there. They have a kit. They have the op. They have some rifles. So this is not out of the woods yet for eSuba. They can still do something. But Virtus.pro, again, coming through with some clinical teamwork and communication on their T side. Absolutely overwhelming and stumping eSuba. They've been stalled out on their CT side. They've been pretty much stalled out since the pistol rounds as well.
Right.
You would say, I mean, those 3 rounds that eSuba were able to pick up on T side gun rounds were pretty good for them. But other than that, they've been pretty much at a loss for how to deal with the defenses of Virtus.pro. And now the plow is on offense. But Hanky G can shut it down, and he will find the first.
Yeah, Snacks is a great find. Now the remaining players for Virtus.pro, I think they've pretty much funneled to the B site, considering they have no control on the A. The Henky going to be using some of his utility to try to block this off. Daxon playing in the right place. He has an MP9. It's kind of hard to convert with that, but he was able to find one. Beyond spraying through the smoke. Shuts down Hanky G. That is an unfortunate loss for eSuba, as the control here for Virtus.pro. It might be too much to handle. Mihu shuts down Zetko, and now so much utility is being controlled towards CT spawn, but Frank comes out, gun swinging through the smoke. Shuts down Mihu. 2 versus 2, Boggs.
This is a round eSuba need. They found it first, but they cannot. Oh, they are able to find Bialy. Shocky's on the MP9 now, up against Snatchy, and this is a gun he can push on with. But he doesn't have a lot of time, and he has to tap the bomb. He's going to hold. Does he have the time? I think he does. Wow. He has the defuse, and another ninja for eSuba, saving them in another critical round.
Yeah, this is... Actually, the interesting thing is this was a mirror of what Snatchy did the round before, but now Snatchy's the one that got stolen that round. So this... it's funny how things come back full circle. 14-8. It's crazy. The same exact scenario. Snatchy in the back hauls towards Coffin. Guy just sticks the bomb right in front of him. Steals it from right under his nose. That's really well played. Good discipline there from eSuba. That requires confidence.
Yeah. And it's confidence that they might have been lacking previously. But if it can show up now for eSuba, they might just be able to pitch the comeback here. As Virtus.pro, their money is still fine, though. They'll be able to get their buy the following round. But this pick from Zetko spraying through the smoke on arches is a beautiful read and another good start for eSuba. Shockey's doing damage as well. The A-side defense with a little bit of early aggression, hit and run tactics coming out from eSuba, and it seemed that they actually might be able to lock down the A-side for the first time, but Frag gets taken down, but Shockey's from Pit has been an absolute monster. Zedko is still on site, and Bialy, last alive, gets dinked down and eventually taken down by Zedko. So eSuba will find a 9th round, and things are starting to look brighter for the Czech and Slovakian mix.
Absolutely.
They're starting to find their stride on CT side. It might be too little too late, but right now, all things considered, Virtus.pro have to start sweating a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the Slovakian strength is kind of putting a stop to the Virtus.pro, right? The Plo. I'm going to start calling the Plo. I like that. The Pro and Plow at the same time. But here we go. A lot of utility being dumped out towards Banana. Daxon's going to get overwhelmed. Mac10's going fast. Veggie leading the way. Only one man stands right here. And Veggie, blind with the help of Bialy, eventually clear out Henky. And that is a B-bomb site. Forced open. No casualties taken. This is a bad look, Austin.
You mentioned the Plow. It was in full effect on that round. And I think it might have just gotten match point for Virtus.pro, but Zedko has another idea. He's found the first, he swings through, but the smoke is not going to favor the CT side as Veggie's able to find 2 frags from Church. And now it's just Shock, he's in the 1v4, he's gonna run away, and eSuba are gonna play down 6 match points. I mean, this doesn't look good for eSuba. The push on in from the Mac-10s on Virtus.pro, absolutely annihilating the B-side defenses. Good flashbangs as well. That was a really simple take from Virtus.pro, all things considered. Just a couple of flashbangs over towards A, or towards B rather. But the shots were there, the team play was there. And one thing to be noted as well, they did not turn away from the fights. They all played together. And that is something that a lot of teams don't capitalize on when they do go for this aggression. People will fall off. They won't actually commit to the take. And Virtus.pro, they played full confidence, and it worked out perfectly. And now they have 6 match points.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but the economy here for eSuba is rough. This is a Walmart purchase, right? They have an MP9, they have a FAMAS, that goes down to a Deagle. They do have 2 rifles and a kit, that does help, but they're also limited on utility. And they've already used probably one of their only the only oh no, they have one more in Henky's hands. But it's still, utility's running pretty thin here for eSuba. Regardless, though, there's still 6 opportunities here for eSuba, or Virtus.pro, I should say, to kind of close out this first game of the season for them. Looking pretty good so far. Here we go. Banana control once again. This time the Plow has 5 players towards Banana. Henky, MP9. Daxon, he does have an M4 playing towards Coffin. Let's see if they can hold this down.
Close range, able to find 1, but he's unable to get the conversion. But Daxon from Coffins has gotten another. Now he just has to buy time for the rest of his mates to come on in for the rotations. He does a little bit of damage to Mihus, who actually could get taken down by a dink. But the rotations are going to come in late. The lack of utility for eSuba could come back to bite them. They only have 1 smoke. They have plenty of flashbangs. But Snacks, the second Molotov out towards Church, is going to stall the retake even further. They only have the 1 kit on Shock. But Zedko with the 1 dig takes down Snaps, and Mihu on top of the boxes is going to be a critical linchpin in the defenses. He drops down to Emo now, the last man alive. The smoke comes out. Mihu 1, 2 frags. Can he get the 3rd? The bomb needs to get stuck. Shockies is on it. Mihu spraying. There's no time. Virtus.pro have won it. Shockies has to fall off the bomb as it will take down both the remaining players. What a round to lose for eSuba.
Yeah.
And Mihu 25 and 11 too.
Yeah, Mihu absolutely crushed this game, first of all. But I'm really surprised they didn't even check for Mihu there, considering they heard him jump off after he got flashed. I mean, the audio cue was there. I guess it probably just kind of clouded by the fact that there was like 4 people coming in from one direction. A little bit hectic there, but unfortunately for eSuba, they weren't able to hold on. Virtus, the Plow, the Plow, the Pro, the Polish Bulldozer. They've done it, and they've picked up the first win in an awesome fashion. And I'm really excited to see how this roster moves forward. I mean, we were kind of questioning Veggie because we weren't really sure how he was going to perform on the Virtus.pro lineup, but he's done a good job, and I think he's shown that he kind of belongs on the roster so far.
I would definitely agree. Veggie was actually one of the key players for Virtus.pro, in my opinion. That B hold from Snacks and Veggie was perfection, all but perfection. Because I mean, they lost a couple of rounds, but even then, it wasn't like they made mistakes. It was just insane plays from eSuba that got them gun rounds.
Yeah.
So Veggie definitely looking good in our first trial seeing him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for both of these squads. I mean, even eSuba, well, yeah, they didn't have too successful of a T half. their CT side was still pretty on point. I mean, they had one more gun round gone differently in the first half. This would have been an entirely different game, right? So I'm excited to see one of the top Slovakian teams throughout this league as well. So this is a really good start for the EU division, but that does conclude the first match for us, guys. Austin, thank you for joining us, man. I appreciate you. Been awesome. It's been a pleasure. Hopefully we get to see you around more often around the show. Everybody in here right now, please, if you haven't done so already, please do follow our socials. That includes Winners League Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch as well. We could use your support as we look to grow our community and hopefully bring more back to you as a result. Also follow Boggs. His Twitter is down this way. That's at BoggsCS, and then my ad as well, at Real Strong Legs. Again, guys, thank you for tuning in. The next match coming in right now is going to be Namiga versus Make. I imagine that match is going to be absolute fire, so stay tuned, and that should be starting before you even know it. We'll be right back, guys.